Right, got a little project here now. We've got a 50 horsepower Mariner outboard, and it's on a 430 YAM rib, and bought it the other day. Knew it had a few problems, but seems to have, I think it's dropped a rod or a crankshaft's gone. Let's take this off, because when we move it, we've got probably about, I don't know, a few degrees of turn on the flywheel, and it's clonking. So what I can only assume is it's dropped a rod, or a big end cap's gone and it's jammed up. That's what it sounds like. But looking at this, so if you can see in this light, it looks very hot. The paint's gone a bit dirty, right, the plug's a bit rusty, but it looks very sort of like dark on the top. So I'm wondering if the impeller's gone and it's overheated, and then the pistons got hot and melted itself to the liner and seized up, and it's dropped a rod, because there's two-stroke oil in there. And then to say the only thing I can assume is that it's overheated and maybe just seized. But anyway, that's a clunking we've got, and as I say, that sounds very much like a journal, or a big end bearing's gone off the or end cap's gone off the conrod. So I've got it's a 50 horsepower one now. I've got a 60 horsepower motor for it, like powerhead for it. Right, just want to video this for my peace of mind, just to see where these relays and that go. So I presume these are for the trim tilt relays and the earth under there. So what I'm going to do is going to unbolt all the auxiliaries, cables, and start motor, and take the oil tank out the way, and then going to take the carbs off, yeah, because I need to take carbs off anyway. So then it'll just give me access to more bolts, and I'll disconnect all the cables there, and then should be ready to lift out. I'll come back to you in a little while again. Right, got the starter motor out of the way. That was quite awkward. It was like a rubber cup that pushes in there, and you have to really sort of squeeze it out, sort of pull it out and then pull it upwards, but it's a really tight fit. I thought there was another fitting on there, but right, got that out of the way. I just want to see where these cables go, just documenting for myself so I know where they go when I'm putting it back in. And it's colour coded, so that should be okay. I'll tell you what's weird as well, I did notice when I pulled off the two-stroke reservoir, I pulled the hose off the bottom, and it had like a siphoning. It was sort of made a sucking sound, and I'm just wondering if there was like an airlock in the tank, and you know, maybe it didn't breathe, and obviously it couldn't draw it out because there was an airlock in there. So that's something I need to inspect and look at, just to make sure the oil was flowing freely, because it's very strange how it had a vacuum inside the oil tank. So I'll have a look at that when I put it back together, but I don't know if anyone wants to comment whether they had the same problem, or it's just me dreaming. But I'll come back to you in a bit more anyway. Right, I've undone this electronic box, and right, pain in the arse. That last 30mm just there, I'm focusing just there, there's a real pain in the backside to get undone, which is right underneath there. But I've undone this now. I'll get this out of the way. I'm going to disconnect these wires from the coils and the stator. I just want to see what they're connected to, just for me to remember when I put it back together. I did notice as well is this connection, so the oil pump was laying down there as well. Now I assumed that if it fell off, it automatically was sprung loaded to full oil. So i.e. if it did spring off like it did, it's sprung so it's fully open, so it would just run real smoky and real rich. Again, I don't know really what happened, why it's seized, I don't know why it's off, but as we delve deeper in, hopefully it will all be apparent. So that's another thing I just found. Right, as you can see, step back a bit. Right, that's all clear now, all the way around. carbs are off, and that bloody door softener, if I kicked my shins with it about once, I've kicked it 100 times. But anyway, that's what I think I have to do now is undo that shield. There's like 10mm bolts on there, and then it should give me access to the bolts that are holding the engine block down. So I'll take them off, and then I'll be ready to lift the power head off. Believe it or not, this is the first time I've actually done this, so it's an experience for me as well. But anyway, I'll take that cover off, I'll give you a quick picture underneath, and hopefully the engine bolts are under there and I can unbolt them and then it will lift off. Right, well actually, was it 4 10mm bolts done. They pulled down this plate here. It's getting focused, we're too close. Right, yeah, they're 4 10mm bolts under that plate that dropped down, and I can see now there's 6 rusty about 17mm 15mm bolts in there, and they bolt straight through to the block there. So I mean, they always seem to corrode more with that into aluminium, but hopefully they're not going to shear off and they're going to come out. So I'm going to get a big socket on there, 1/2 inch socket, and see if I can crank them out.